Is it possible to become pregnant when you're still pregnant? Is it possible to wash your blood? Do you actually need 8 glasses of water a day? Is cholesterol bad for our health? Is Piriton a sleeping pill? These, among others, we're going to discuss them in this video and see whether we have some truths in them or they're just purely myths. It's not possible to get pregnant when you're still pregnant. Well, this is not correct. You can actually get pregnant. Now, let's start with the most frequent cases. Okay, they are not frequent. All of those cases are very rare. They are not as many, but it's possible to get pregnant when you're still pregnant. We start with the obvious one. So, it's a little bit more common. This is from the surrogate mothers. What you get is a sperm and an ovum from different people. They get fertilized outside the body, then they are implanted in you. And then after that implantation, that will be a pregnancy on its own. Then it so happens that you also get your ovulation. Now, this if you happen to have had sex, so you're going to get sperms that will travel and meet the ovum, which after ovulation, it comes through the oviduct or through, then a fertilization takes place. And as usual, it will just go and implant itself in the already made uterine cavity. Now, there you're going to have 2 pregnancies within the same term, and they might survive all the way up to the end. So you're going to end up having 2 babies, and they are going to be of different fathers. Now, let's go to the other one, which is a little bit common. Now, this is quite a defect. What usually happens in a normal day is when you are ovulating, you have 2 ovaries. They usually alternate. This time, the left is the one that's producing the ovum. The other time will be now the right one. They alternate. So there comes a time when they are both confused, and so they produce ova or at the same time, so which means that you're going to have 2 ova during the same ovulation, not necessarily within the same ovulation, but they might release 2 eggs. So those 2 eggs, and you so happen to have sex, then you have sperms that will go and fertilize them. And most occasionally will be that you're going to have those 2 fertilized eggs being from the same man. So if they are both going to be fertilized, you're going to have twins, and they're going to implant themselves in your uterus. Now, what will happen when you get to, like, for example, have ovulation this time, and then you get pregnant, and then right along, your body is still confused, and instead of just holding the ovulation, you so happen to ovulate again and release another egg from one of your ovaries. And remember, you are pregnant at that time. Then you so happen to meet your partner, and you just happen to get sex. So what will happen here, you're going to have a fertilization again, where you still have another pregnancy that's ongoing, and then fertilization of this other egg here will now go and implant itself into the already formed uterine wall. Now that wall will now be supporting 2 people, and they might go all the way up to term. And this is where it gets a little bit interesting. You find that the first pregnancy was from a different father, and then you find out that the second one, which is still within the same gestational period, you find that the second one is from a different father. The second one, you need to take 8 glasses of water a day. Not actually true. Now, this will depend. Sometimes you might find that you're in a situation where the activities that you're doing, maybe you are running, or maybe you are walking in the sun, or maybe the place you are, it's so hot, you are perspiring, you are urinating a lot, so you need to replace that water. So you might end up even having to take more than 8 glasses of water. In other times, your body is not losing as much water, and for example, you might have been taking maybe foods like fruits that contain a lot of water, and in that case, you don't actually need those 8 glasses of water. No, you actually need to give your body water according to demand. If it demands water, then you give it. Now you look for the signs, like for example, you're feeling thirsty, you need to take water. Yeah, you go ahead and do that. If, for example, you find that your urine is a little bit concentrated, you need to take a lot of water, a little bit more, to just compensate for the loss that's already there. So you just keep hydrated. But actually, you don't need to take 8 glasses of water a day. No, you don't need that. And actually, a lot of water in your body might be harmful, because over dilution of the electrolytes will bring other complications in your body. The other myth, which is actually popular when it comes to now treatments, that you need to take a lot of water to flush out UTI in case you have that infection. Now, remember, UTI is a urethral tract infection, and most of those UTIs are caused by bacteria. Now, in case suppose you have something like let's say something like E. coli, Escherichia coli, it's a bacteria. The bacteria usually have structures that will help in attaching themselves on the wall of whatever place it is. Now, in this case, we are talking about the urethra. Urethra will have cells along the lining, and those bacteria will have structures like fimbriae and pili that will help in attaching themselves onto the wall. So no water will be able to flush that thing out. So water is not going to help you in fighting that UTI. It's only the drugs that you're going to take will help in doing that. The other myth has something to do with washing your blood. It's not actually possible because you see, you have other structures in your body that will help in removing those wastes from your blood. I don't think there's anything that is there that can be able to do that. I have not had, unless maybe you are going to have that in the future. Now, take for example, those people who usually go for dialysis. Actually, this is your body failing in removing those toxins and other products that need to be removed from your body. Now, you have a very, very good organ called the kidney. Kidneys usually help in removing those waste products and other toxins. The toxins are mainly taken care of by the liver. So you have those. They are taking care of trying to wash your blood, and you find something like the lungs will help in removing carbon dioxide from your body. So in blood, I don't actually think there's a drug or something that you can take, whether herbal or pharmaceutical, that will help in cleaning your blood. Now, unless you invest in keeping your blood clean, there's no way you can be able to clean your blood. Otherwise, you could not be having something like dialysis machines, which will help when you have kidney failure. Otherwise, you could just be going around with a drug instead of going for a dialysis session. So that myth about washing your blood, there's nothing like that. Actually, we have a machine like this one that promises that it's going to detoxify your body, meaning that all those harmful toxins from your body would be removed. And this is a pure myth. Actually, it doesn't work at all because what is inside there is you're going to find that in that machine, they're going to plug it into power. They'll put water and add salt. Inside that thing that usually placed inside that ball is it contains a lot of electrodes, the ions. What will happen is that electricity will oxidize the ions inside there, and the ion will produce iron 3 oxide, which is kind of brown in color or reddish brown, and that will kind of trick you into thinking that that's the toxins coming from your body, which is totally a lie. And I want you to go and verify for me that that's a lie. So what you need to do, just go to the same machine. If you usually pay, just pay, and then you just make sure that they have plugged that thing into the wall. They have added water, and they've switched the socket on, or whatever power plug is using, they switch it on, and then they add salt, whatever they do, but don't put in your legs. Just observe what will happen to that water. It will turn brown regardless of whether you put anything there or not. Meaning, that's just a myth. The other one is cholesterol is bad for your health. Now, this is a myth. Actually, your liver manufactures or creates cholesterol for the use in your body. You have other processes in your body that will require cholesterol. But now, this where this comes in is from the different types of fats or lipids that you have in your body. Like for example, you'll have high density lipids, HDL. You have LDL, you have chylomicrons. They have different things they usually do in the body. In the story of bad cholesterol and good cholesterol, let's talk about HDL, which is high density lipids, very essential and very good, and LDL, which is low density lipids, which is kind of highly associated with heart attacks in high concentration. So actually HDL will help in a reduction of LDL from the body. So if you have more of HDL in your body, they're actually beneficial. So you don't need to say that all cholesterols are bad. The other one is Piriton is a sleeping pill. Piriton is actually not a sleeping pill. It's an antihistamine. What usually happens here is it inhibits the action of histamines, especially when it comes to hypersensitivities. And that's why it's very good when it comes to viral infections. When you have runny nose, you take Piriton. It will help in reducing the congestion. And at the same time, it will help you in sleeping. So sleeping is the side effects. So if you're taking Piriton as a sleeping pill, it's actually kind of you're abusing that because sleeping is a side effect of that drug. This other one is quite common when it comes to getting tested in hospitals, and you might find someone saying, or maybe alluding to, that you take blood and I'm going to get all the tests or all the conditions or anything that I have, any infection I have in my body. using just that simple blood sample. No, it doesn't actually work like that, because we have few, okay, not few per se, we have different samples for different diagnoses. Take for example, I want to know whether you have parasites in your blood. I might take blood, especially at night for the filaria, and I want to know whether you have parasites in your gut, that is in your intestines. What I'll take is a stool sample, so meaning that I cannot get the first thing from the second sample. Now, take for example, you have a meningitis. I want to know what's going on. I can only take CSF. Take something else, like for example, you have a skin condition. You have a fungal skin condition. So what I need to do is I'll take a sample from your skin, so I don't need blood. So it doesn't actually necessarily mean that when they take blood from you, they're going to pinpoint the infection, however ambiguous the testing panel is. Spicy foods will cause ulcers. No, they don't. What happens here is they make the already existing ulcers to be worse. They don't necessarily make that, because what will happen is you get an ulceration on your gut, or in your gut, in the mucosa. The lining that usually coats your walls is eroded, and something like, let's say H. pylori, Helicobacter pylori, finds a place to stay there, and they prevent healing of that spot, so you're going to get ulcers. So if you take spicy foods, they might aggravate the pain from those ulcers or even make them worse, but they cannot actually make you get ulcers at any point. So they already make already existing ulcers worse, but they cannot be able to create ulcers in you. So if you don't have ulcers, you take spicy foods, you're not going to get ulcers. Flu vaccine will give you flu. Not actually. This is how a vaccine works. A vaccine is a weakened form of the actual illness. Take for example that influenza. They get that, they make a weakened form of that, and then they inject that in you. What will happen is your body will recognize that there's something new in that body, and your immunity will go and start fighting whatever that has been introduced into your body, which is now the goal of that vaccine. And you're going to get inflammation and all other forms of reactions toward a new antigen in that body, which means that you're going to have those symptoms like you're going to feel warm, maybe you get colds, you get high temperatures, yeah, all of those. So when you get that after a vaccine, that's a successful vaccination, because your body was able to recognize something foreign and it was able to react towards that, meaning that it's going to form antibodies against whatever it was trained on, and then later on, when an actual virus or an actual bacteria comes into you, or maybe you inhale or you get that, it's going to be dealt with swiftly, because you already have antibodies which are ready to fight that infection. So it doesn't necessarily give you flu. What you're going to get is flu-like symptoms, which means that the vaccines worked. Another very, very common myth is when you go to the gym and you get those big muscles, you're going to keep them forever even if you skip going to the gym. Actually, no. Because when you exercise your muscles, you go to the gym, maybe you're lifting heavy things, not actually going to the gym, you're doing other manual jobs that require you putting in a lot of energy. What will happen is you're exercising your muscles, and the cells in your muscles are going to hypertrophy, which means that they're going to only increase in size, not necessarily increase in numbers, which is now aprasia. Aprasia is different from hypertrophy. Now, what happens is when you stop using, or maybe you stop lifting, you stop going to the gym, you stop using those muscles, what will happen will be now the opposite of hypertrophy, which is atrophy, which is now a reduction of the size of your cells. So this is what usually happens when you get old. Your muscles undergo what we call atrophy. They reduce in size, so they are not as hypertrophied as they were. Meaning that if you stop going to the gym or you stop lifting heavy things, your muscles will go back to normal because they are going to shrink in size. In case you're gaining value from the video, just give us a thumbs up. And in case I have another myth that I left out, just tell us in the comment region. And see you in the next one.